He's got the perfect size bet every week. That's what he's been told.
He can hit his spots with his bets for
he knows
sure.
how to hit his spot with the bet.
The boys are back. The boys are back in town. We welcome you to a new episode of TWI. I'm your host, Ike. We got an unreal crew. As always, we got Jared on the bottom, Eric P above him, and then on the top, we got Matt Hokinson. We are missing 2 members. David, always MIA. No response in the group text today.
Or my calls.
Carter did respond. I'm actually kind of glad Carter isn't here because he's been an absolute lately. So, I mean, feature match of the week is Alex De Minaur versus Pablo Carreno Busta, the Spaniard versus the Australian, ranked 20 versus ranked 15. We got a really good one. It's going to be the 3rd round of the U.S. Open. So we got some excellent prize money on the line. We got $2.6 million for the winner.
That's way more than Cleveland.
Cleveland. Yeah,
Take notes, Cleveland.
The winner of Cleveland gets the qualifying 2nd round prize of the U.S. Open.
God, I'm so mad. I'm still so bitter at Cleveland for that.
Antes de hablar de nuestras apuestas, vamos a leer las reglas de nuestra liga. Vamos! Let's get into the rules of betting. The boys will bet $10, $20, or $30 on the bet of their choice. All types of bets welcome, and the winner at the end of the year wins a '69 Chevy. The levy must be dry in order to win. Let's get into the bets.
Let's get into our betting for the week. So I'm going to start her off. We got Pablo Carreno Busta versus Alex De Minaur. I'm going to switch it up just a little bit. Normally I'm betting either the games or money line. I'm going to go total number of tie breaks. It's at -132. Playing best of 5. It's going to be a great matchup. I think they're going to have an absolute battle out there. I'm going to put $30 on this one. Only one tie break has to be played. And I think both these guys are going to be dogs and compete. I think they're going to try to, I think this US Open draw is wide open. So I'm going to put $30 on it to win $22.80. Matt, what's your bet?
Yeah, I agree. I think it's going to be an absolute battle. De Minaur, the best mover besides maybe Monfils on the ATP Tour. I do think he gets it done in 5. And so if I think he's going to get it done in 5, let's bet it. So De Minaur in 5, $30 with that +5 something.
Plus 575. So a $30 bet is going to get you $172.50.
Yeah, and see, so when that bet hits, Porter, you're going to be shivering in your timbers. And then when my next bet hits, you're going to be chopped up wood, buddy.
So if David somehow loses his bet, well, honestly,
or gets a penalty,
so that would put David at 66.90, and then you would be at 60. We got to do the exact math. I have 230 minus 238.40 plus, and then the bet would be 172.50, 65.90.
Yeah! He's going down.
So if you win your bet and David takes a penalty, you would be in the lead. If he loses his bet, of course, like whatever he bets, he's probably gonna.
Dude, that's the beauty of big betting, baby.
Damn,
I'm back.
I gotta give David a little bit of props. Since we had our little intervention conversation about how he was absolutely tanking, he's hit 3 in a row. I mean, they haven't been as big as Carter. Carter's hit 3 massive bets in a row. Shout out to Carter. But David has hit 3 in a row, turned his season completely around. I mean, it looked like a lost season. And now he's he's right there. But whether he takes the penalty or loses, I like the odds of him losing or taking a penalty here. I like Matt jumping ahead of David all of a sudden. This could be a huge shakeup by next week.
Massive shakeup. And that would just destroy David's confidence. Like Matt's been riding this low for 5 weeks now. And if he just somehow snapped out of it super quick, and David's been just grinding and doing pretty well, he's won 5 of the last 6 weeks, right? Yeah, he's won 5 of the last 6 weeks. The last 3 weeks, great betting. Yeah. So I think that'd be devastating for David. Eric, what's your bet for the week?
Yeah, I tell you, I got to. I feel like I got to get back to my roots with these bets this week, and go back, little modification, but mainly back to the bread and butter that's been keeping me in good position these last few weeks. So I'm gonna move the line, and I'm gonna move it to the right. I'm gonna go all the way to the right. So
Of course.
over 31 and a half games, that is minus 315. And I'm gonna put a 20 on that.
20 on it.
Okay.
That's a
God.
solid payday.
Good, maybe a payday bar with that.
You're gonna win your bet and catapult yourself from 3rd to 4th place.
I'm gonna win my bet, and I'm going to secure another week in the positives. And then I'm gonna build my bankroll back up so I can make a $30 bet and then catch you, who's gonna start just catapulting down the leaderboard one of these days because you're straight Icarusing this league.
Icarus.
I'm going for the most consecutive bets hit in a row, and when I get this, it's going to devastate you.
I simply can't be devastated.
Well, that's because
That's what New Orleans. Hey, that's what New Orleans said in 2005. So.
Oh my gosh.
Last but not least, Jared, we got you on the bottom because you're in the lead. You're at 74-30 right now. So you have 2 records that you could break this week. So depending on what you bet, you could either beat Matt for the highest peak. He's at 92.50. So a bet of about $20 would get you to that record. Or just simply winning this bet this week, you'd be the longest winning streak ever in TWI history.
I don't want to shift the line because Eric thinks that I've succeeded based off of his own strategy, right? That simply isn't true. I can take any bet, modify it to my liking, and make it a smart bet. So, I mean, I'm having a hard time with this one because I do want to go for both at the same time, but I also want to play it safe enough that I've got contenders. I mean, Carter's right there. Isaac, Eric. I mean, David's been betting really well, right? I need to play this strategically. It also is difficult because we've got arguably 2 of my favorite players on the tour, Alex De Minaur taking on Carreno Busta move this week. And I love the way they both just play from the baseline, grind out points. I could see this going either way. Regardless, I don't think either player is going to sweep all 3 sets because I think just with the baseline style of both of these players, I think they're going to have enough in the tank. I think it's going to be back and forth enough. And I know that there's going to be enough breaks of serve where I think this will go to at least 4 sets. So I'm going to take the over on 3.5 sets. That's going to be my bet. I am going to throw $30 down on that to try to win as much as possible. But I'm not entirely sure that that's going to catapult me into the highest on the Mount Everest. But I think it's conservative enough that it'll get me to my 7th win in a row and put me at that top of the league for consecutive wins.
Yeah,
it would.
You would be just under for the Mount Everest. But like you said, Carter's out there betting. He's won his last 3 bets all over $40. So he's
Carter's
hot right now.
Carter's tough because Carter's betting 3 sets to 1 in favor of De Minaur. That's plus 480. That's plus
holy
480.
Smokes.
So if he hits that bet, he will by far and away be in the lead of our league for money. And I
by a lot.
I'm not in a position to compete with that. Honestly, I just have to hope that doesn't hit. Right. So I'm just trying to play it safe and play it competitive, strategic style where I can still remain in the league if that bet misses.
Yeah. Carter would be very close to $200 if he hit that bet, which would be the first time someone has gotten over $100 in our league and damn near $200, which is crazy.
That's going to really change things up if he hits that. Something we need to address is Carter hitting 3 consecutive $40 wins in a row.
That is
too good.
Absolutely catapult himself into 2nd place. Last week, if you were to think back to the bets we were making, I was thinking I need to hold the lead over Eric. I need to hold the lead over Isaac. Carter has come out of absolutely nowhere to put himself into second place. Shocking, with over $120 in these last 3 weeks. So it goes to show that Matt is definitely able to be right back in it. It's in 3 weeks, Matt could be 120 or more dollars ahead of where he is right now.
Oh, wow, look at that. Thank you, Sally.
Yeah, no
Appreciate
problem.
that. I wish I could get more out of that from Eric, but
Well,
yeah, whatever.
We're pretty anti-Eric at this point. So
yeah, stab.
look what, as soon as he ventures out to a $20 bet instead of a $10 bet, look what happens. Immediate
He
loss.
gets
I think I did a 20 on week 25, didn't I?
And week 26. You bet $20 last week as well.
Yeah.
And then also, $20 in week 25 as well. That's when we couldn't move the line, right?
Yeah.
So that was why.
There's your problem. Eric can't move the line. He's swamped.
I love hearing just the barbs from this guy below me who literally has adopted my strategy, tweaked it slightly, and just has been profiting ever since.
But I mean, if you look at the last couple of weeks here, let's see. Win. 6 in a row, going on 7. Isaac, we need to pull up a stat here. What's the longest win streak? Because I've got to be making a run for that.
Yours is definitely the long. So I'm gonna pull up. Carter had a really long run at the start of the season, but I think you beat him. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Carter had 6 from week 2 to week 7.
All right.
So we got a new award. Jared Sowie requested this last week. The Mount Everest Award is what it's going to be called.
This is every player's peak at any point in the season.
Right. Yep.
So I think that this stat does a lot for the GOAT conversation. I mean, I know there was some debate last week with Carter talking about whether or not it was valid to use the dollar amount for the GOAT conversation. I think this plays into it a lot. And I think this actually defends Matt from being in the SOAT conversation.
Thank you.
Because if you look at a guy like David, right, the highest he's ever reached is $19 above zero. Okay.
And he has the most weeks in last place.
Correct, right? Whereas you get a guy like Matt, and I know he's at a low point right now, but to see him be the highest in the league at any given point, I think that proves a lot about where he was at as a bettor. A wise man once said, "You haven't truly lost until you stop betting."
Attaboy, Sally.
You only lost money once you stop gambling.
You're right. You haven't won money until you cashed out either.
Fair point. That's fair point, actually.